Hello, welcome to the Free Thinkers Report. This is Ocean and the date is the 25th of August 2020. Free Thinkers is a small group of people who meet up regularly to discuss the big picture with an open mind. We are based in York and have another group starting in London. My plan is to keep the talk to 30 minutes and cover three items: the big picture, news, the solar system events and a suggested spiritual practice. The idea for this comes from one of my favourite YouTube channels, Dave on Patriots Intel Report. And a big shout out to him for all the great work he's doing. So let's get right to it. So, item 1, the big picture news. Well, it's the start of the 6th week of the 8-week period which QAnon gave the name to Batten Down the Hatches, the storm is about to break. That was post 4604. For you QAnon fans. Well, so far I don't think any major things happened in this period, so it's going to be in the last few weeks, and I'm not entirely sure what it is, but in the pipeline I've got some sort of guesses as to what it could be. One would be a gold-backed digital currency, one based on blockchain that would make it crypto, or that would be a big change to the financial system. The other one would be another false flag, such as a fake alien invasion. That's one that Stephen Greer's sort of pioneered and warning us that we've got to be careful if they try to put that one on us. The other ones that people are talking about is a false flag involving a QAnon person dressed up as QAnon but is not one of us. So we shall see what happens. The other thing that's in the news is the race for a vaccine. Trump's declared he's found one, or he's going to promote one that is going to come under the emergency provisions. And in the papers today in the UK, they're saying be very careful of rushing into a vaccine that doesn't work or is actually creates more problems than by enhancing the antibody reaction. Now, the one that Trump's got, as I understand it, is from the blood plasma of people who've recovered from coronavirus. And if that is injected into you, then your antibodies will increase for the coronavirus and make you temporarily immune to the infection. Now, for me, I'm going to be very careful about vaccines and what people inject them into my body. The first thing I'm going to do is ask for a list of all the ingredients that have gone into the vaccine and then any known side effects from taking the vaccine. And certainly I won't be trusting anything that's got to do with Mr. Gates. So we'll see where that goes. Of course, Russia was in there first with what is called Sputnik. That's one of Putin's things. So he was in first, then Trump, obviously trying to get ahead of the game on providing the vaccine so that we can do away with the second wave that the deep state are ideally wanting to bring to us. So that's the news that I've picked up to date. So, item 2, solar system events. Well, we've just come out of the Lion's Gate, which is a very intense period, and a lot can happen there. I think it was particularly intense this year because of the coronal mass ejection that came through on the 17th of August. These are solar flares coming from the sun and hopefully missed the Earth. This one was heading in our direction, but actually just glanced our magnetosphere and caused a G1 geomagnetic storm. But they can have major effects on the Earth, and I think this one had quite a bit of impact. The other thing that's happening is we are about halfway through what's called the initiation of the year, the planetary initiation. Now, this is something that I found from being a member of the 144K mass meditation group. And Jim Tusakis, who runs it, the Unknown Light Warrior, he's referred to Cobra, who put out a post in August, the 12th actually, about the planetary initiation, which starts on the 12th of January with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction So the midpoint was 30th of June, which is the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, and will end on 21st of December, this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And on the post, which I will put a link to, it explains quite a bit about what's going on around the planet, and it's well worth a read. It's also got a little bit of advice there about the Command 1221 power. So those are the things I was just thinking about in relation to the solar system events. So, item 3, a suggested spiritual practice. Well, this one comes from Patricia Cota Robles, who I dearly like. She's on Era of Peace and does weekly vlogs. The latest one is vlog 180, where she recommends a breathing practice of God's pure source oxygen. And I call it celestial breathing, and I put together my own little meditation on it, and I'm happy to share that. I'll put a link again down below the YouTube video, and that's recommended for anybody who wants to consciously breathe and bring all that oxygen into the body and then expand it out on the out breath into a huge sort of ball of oxygen, of love and light, and send that towards the planet. And for that purpose, I've included on this video a picture of the planet surrounded by the Flower of Life grid with the rainbow lights flowing around it. Now this I received when I was doing the 144k meditations every morning to just send love to the planet through this very intense period. So if you want to join me, please do. So I'd like to finish with a big thank you to all for listening to my first Freethinkers report. Obviously, please subscribe to the channel. My intention is to try and find someone who can help me put together these Freethinker reports, perhaps in an interview style, and they might last a bit long, but this one is probably going to only last about 10 minutes, which is short and sweet and to the point. So thank you once again. I'll put the links down below, and be well.